Hi ho and welcome to One Man's Dream. I'm James and today is 5 tips and tricks for Walt Disney World. Now, these tips and tricks are for everybody, even if you're a veteran of Disney or it's your first time. Every one of these tips and tricks that I do on this YouTube channel is for everyone. I've got a massive list of tips and tricks, about 50 of them. That's why I'm only doing 5 today, because if I did all 50 in one video, it'd get very boring. I'm just doing 5 at a time. I will be doing a lot more of these videos in the future, so please keep a lookout for them. So let's get on to these tips and tricks. Number 1, book your holiday early. Going to Walt Disney World is a very expensive holiday and most people can't afford to pay it within like a couple of months. But even if you can pay in a couple of months, you need to still book your holiday early. I personally recommend you book at least 6 months before you go, because there's a lot of organising, scheduling, booking, especially dining and fast passes. Which leads me on to number 2. Dining and fast passes. I will be doing more detailed videos about both subjects in the future, but today I'll be just talking about when and where you can book these fast passes and dining reservations. But first, as soon as you book your holiday to Walt Disney World, I totally recommend you download the My Disney Experience app through your smartphone. Even if you've booked your holiday through a travel agent, you must download this app because it helps you book fast passes, dining reservations, everything that you will do in Walt Disney World. Now let's talk about dining reservations. You have got 180 days before your trip to book your dining reservations at Walt Disney World. These are sit-down restaurants where you don't have to go up to a counter and order yourself. So if you want a dining reservation, especially for dinner, you must book 180 days before you're planning to eat at that restaurant. The sooner you book your dining reservations, the better chance you're going to get at them highly popular restaurants like Be Our Guest. Talking about fast passes now, there are 2 ways of booking for fast passes. Let's talk about the first way. Unlike other resorts around the world, Walt Disney World has Fast Pass Plus. So for example, if you're at Disneyland Paris, they use paper fast passes. Whilst at Walt Disney World, you can only book fast passes through My Disney Experience app or kiosks around the parks. Now, if you're staying on site at an official Disney resort, for example like Contemporary, Animal Kingdom Lodge, the All-Star Resort, you get 60 days prior to your vacation to book your fast passes. But if you're staying off-site at a non-Disney resort hotel or a villa, you've only got 30 days before your trip to book fast passes. So that means if you're staying on site, you've got a better chance of getting fast passes for Flight Passage, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, than popular attractions throughout the parks. But if you're staying off site, it doesn't mean that you won't get the attractions that you want fast passes for. I stayed off site in a villa last year and I managed to get a fast pass for Flight Passage. I do not know how, but I managed to do it. So if you are staying off site, don't lose hope that you won't get fast passes for them great attractions like Flight of Passage and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And that's why it's one of my tips, because if you don't have that My Disney Experience app and book your dining reservations 180 days prior and your fast pass is either 60 or 30 days prior to your trip, you won't be able to experience Walt Disney World to the best of your ability. On to number 3. Do your research. This includes your activities at your hotel, all the attractions, the shows, the restaurants, counter service restaurants, everything at Walt Disney World Resort. In my opinion, if you don't research for a trip like this, you won't enjoy it as much as you should have done. How do you research for a holiday like Walt Disney World? You're doing it now. When you're watching me talk about Disney, you're researching your next vacation. Watching YouTubers like myself, or reading blogs, or visiting the Walt Disney World website, you are doing your research. If you've got any questions for your upcoming trip or you're struggling with anything, please email me at james.onemansdream@gmail.com or direct message me through my Instagram and Twitter. I'm always happy to answer your questions. You can also call and email Walt Disney World and ask them questions that you really want to know before your trip. Doing your research is so helpful, and if you don't, you won't experience Walt Disney World like you should be doing. So please do your research before heading over to Walt Disney World, because it will help your vacation a lot. On to number 4 now. Have a schedule. Now, like I said, through the My Disney Experience app, you can book your dining reservations and fast passes. You can also have a schedule up on there. This app is so helpful before and during your trip. For my previous trip, I did have a folder of what I would do in each day at the resort. For example, first day, Magic Kingdom, I was doing this, this and this. Second day, Universal Studios, this and this. I do recommend having some kind of folder or scheduling because it will help you with your trip to Orlando. Now, when I say schedule, I don't mean be precise. Be flexible with your scheduling because anything can happen, like weather. Which leads me on to number 5. Do everything at the first opportunity. Now, my last trip in August and September is in hurricane season. And as you're probably well aware, Hurricane Irma happened in 2017 and I was there when it happened. It did not spoil my trip, but a lot of shows were getting cancelled. On the very first day, I watched Happily Ever After and I didn't manage to see it again because of Hurricane Irma. I cannot express how important this tip is because I know people who have waited till their last day to watch Happily Ever After and it's been cancelled because of thunderstorms. You are in Florida, the weather is unpredictable, which will affect shows like Happily Ever After, Fantasmic, Rivers of Light. So please do not wait till your last opportunity to watch these shows, because if I did that in my previous trip, I wouldn't have watched Happily Ever After, and I would have been so gutted. So them are 5 of my many tips for Walt Disney World. Like I said before, I will be doing more videos like this in the future, so please keep a lookout for them. If you've got any other great tips that you'd like to share, please put them down in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. Like I said before, I do have Instagram and Twitter, so please follow me at _onemanstream_. I have got over 200 followers for Instagram, which is insane for my first 2 weeks of being a YouTuber. So thank you so much for everyone who follows me. So that's it. Thank you for joining me today. I'm James. This is One Man's Dream. And I'll see you real soon.